Hi everyone, it's one of my favorite days in the garden. It's harvest day. And today we're going to harvest peas as we wander throughout the garden. And I'm also going to share with you how you can grow a bumper crop of peas this summer. Now, one of the keys to growing a bumper crop is to get them planted early in the spring. They're a cool weather vegetable, so plant them early so that they can harvest before the weather gets hot. They really like temperatures under 80 degrees, so that is the key. Now we have some to harvest right here, and I actually grew peas all winter long here in Southern California. So if you're in a southern climate, that's a great way to do it. And these are actually the Oregon snow peas from my pea seed collection. These are a giant, yummy snow pea, great for snacking on right in the garden, or you can use them in stir fries. And peas love a trellis. And these actually, I need to weave up through this ladder mesh trellis. But they are a vining vegetable and they grow beautifully on a trellis. So it's a great way to add some texture and some structure to your garden by growing them up a trellis. Now sometimes they do have a hard time staying on the trellis, so I always use this little stretchy tie tape to kind of just give them a little bit of a start. And then they have some nice little tendrils that will grab on and kind of grow up the trellis as the peas get a little bit bigger. We're going to let the peas on that plant mature just a little bit more, but one of the keys to harvesting peas is to pick them when they're young. You want to pick them right when the pods start to plump out, and we're going to pick some more of the Oregon Giant snap peas from this plant here. The great thing about these snow peas, they're actually snow peas, is that even if these ones get big, they're super, super tender, and these are great to have in stir fries. Now peas start to mature at the bottom of the plant. So as your peas are starting to mature, just make sure that you check the bottom. And there's none actually on the bottom, so we're going to move all the way up here. But the more that you pick, the more they produce. You don't want to leave them on the plant too long because then the plant stops producing. This one we're just going to weave up through the ladder mesh here and throw our peas in our basket. The fun thing about growing peas is you can grow different colors, and I love growing purple peas. These are called a royal snap pea. I have a similar one in my pea collection, which is a royal snow pea. So there's basically three different types of peas: a snow pea, a snap pea, both of the pods are edible, and a shelling pea, which the pod is kind of stringy, but you can shell it for delicious peas. So these purple snap peas are absolutely beautiful and so, so delicious. To harvest peas, you just grab the vine in one hand, the pea in the other, then just pull them off. The vines are kind of fragile, so you don't want to just pull the pea because then you're going to pull the entire vine out of the ground. Aren't those pretty? One of my all-time favorite peas is the sugar snap pea. It's one of the sweetest varieties. It's an All-American Selections winner, and we have some growing here on this tower trellis. This is such a delicious pea, and these you can actually let plump out quite a bit. They're still super sweet, the pods are still really tender, but the sooner that you eat peas after picking them, the sweeter they're going to be. As soon as you pick them, the sugar in the peas turn into starch and they're not as sweet, so try and eat them as soon as you can after picking. This plant is just covered with peas. Once you pick your peas, they're going to keep on producing as long as the weather stays cool. So that's why you got to get them planted first thing in the spring, as soon as you can work the soil. There's all types of trellises you can use for peas. This one is a very sturdy trellis made out of a cattle panel and 2 posts. And here we've got some sugar and snap peas growing. These are so, so pretty. Oh, I just love these peas. They're perfect for snacking on right in the garden. Sometimes when I'm hungry out here, I'll just take a bite. Oh, this is perfect, even with the plumped up pod. So, so delicious, you guys. I wish you could taste it. The sweetness is just unbelievable. A new variety of peas that I've been growing this year is called the feisty pea. Now the feisty pea is a really fun one. It's a shelling pea, so you don't eat the pods, you just eat the peas inside the pods. But it has beautiful tendrils. It's called a tendril pea. Look at the tendrils on this plant. They're absolutely unbelievable. They're almost like a little web here. And you can actually eat the tendrils, you can harvest them and then throw them in sautés, use them for a garnish. They are just an unbelievable pea and so productive and so easy to grow. So let me just pull these feisty peas off of this plant. These are also in my pea seed collection. And one fun thing about peas to get a bumper crop is that you can succession plant because they do grow so fast. They usually go from seed to harvest in about 8 weeks, depending on the weather. And so you can plant some and then plant some more a couple of weeks later so that you don't get all of your peas harvested at once. You can spread the harvest out and enjoy your peas for a longer amount of time. For a very super easy way to trellis peas, this is just a tomato cage. I put a tree branch in the middle so if the peas get taller, they can just kind of climb up the tree branch. So just look around your garden, find whatever you can to trellis your peas. In fact, I'm just going to open up this pod so you can see these beautiful peas. Now the shelling peas you can actually leave on the vine a little bit longer until they plump up a little bit more. But look at those peas. Aren't they absolutely beautiful? So I'm actually going to leave my feisty peas to plump up just a little bit more because they're really wonderful when they're nice big peas. But over here I want to show you a common issue that peas have, and that is powdery mildew. Now if you've never had powdery mildew, it's this powdery substance that looks like someone just dumped baby powder all over your plants. It's pretty common to peas, especially once it gets hot. And you can see it's kind of starting from the bottom and moving up the plant. Now a great thing to do with powdery mildew is to spray it with copper fungicide. I've had some great success with that. But eventually, once it gets hot, the peas usually do succumb to the heat and get powdery mildew, but that's a great way to keep them producing a little bit longer. Spray them with the copper fungicide and then just ride it out until the weather gets hot. Now we have had some really hot weather here lately, and a lot of people ask me, oh no, my peas are dying. But you know what? That's perfectly normal. Look at these peas here. These are one of the first peas I planted over the winter time, and they're starting to brown. And the brown is going all the way up over the pea vine, and this pea is history. So it's just due to the weather. It's nothing that you did wrong. So just go ahead and pull them out and then plant something else in its place. Well, come on over here under the cattle panel arch where we have a ton more peas growing. Oh, before we do that, I did want to share with you something you can do when it does get hot to help your peas last just a little bit longer is you can cover them with shade cloth. So this is a piece of shade cloth. It allows some of the sun to get through, but it blocks out the intensity. So you can just drape it over your trellis to help protect your peas from the heat. If you want a super sturdy, large trellis, the cattle panel arch is a great way to grow. So you can go back and check out that video for how to build one. But there's a ton of things growing in here. We've got peas, we've got scarlet runner beans, we've got nasturtiums, we've got all kinds of greens. But here are some royal snap peas. Purple, they are just so amazing and so tasty. I love these peas. These are nice and plumped up, perfect for picking. And we love eating peas just raw, dipped in hummus. I chop them up for salads. They're great in a yogurt herb dip, which is super yummy to make from your garden fresh herbs. Just chop up herbs, mix it with Greek yogurt, add some salt and pepper. You've got a wonderful healthy dip. These here along the back are the Oregon giant snow peas. So beautiful. They are just loaded down with peas too. I love how they kind of curl at the bottom like this. I think they're so pretty. They're so easy to grow. They don't need a lot of fertilizer because they help add nitrogen to your soil. So when they're done, what you want to do is just cut them off at the base of the stem, leave the roots in the soil, and it will help enrich your soil for the next crop that you plant. Well, my pea basket is filling up. This is so exciting. We're going to have a ton of peas to eat this week and even share some with the neighbors. So if you have 6 to 8 weeks left, you want to get some peas planted so that you can grow yourself a nice crop too. Another thing you can do if it's getting warm where you live is just hang off, wait till the fall as the weather starts to cool off after the summer. Plant some peas in your garden so they mature before the winter hits. But they also are frost tolerant. So that's one great thing about peas is you can grow them in the winter in warm weather climates. Now here we have a ton of the feisty peas growing, and I like to put these in a separate basket because they are a shelling pea and the pods are really stringy to eat. Again, I just absolutely love these tendrils, but look at this plant. It is absolutely loaded down with peas. It's a crazy productive pea, and these are growing on a smaller trellis. This is a ladder trellis from Gardener's Supply. And the great thing about these particular peas is the vine is pretty sturdy, so you don't even need a super tall trellis. As long as you just kind of have something to guide the plant, this feisty pea is going to grab right on to the trellis. You don't even have to do anything to tie it up. I absolutely love this pea. This one is nice and plumped out. I'm actually going to open this one up. These are going to be beautiful. Oh my gosh, that is like the perfect pea pod. Look at that, you guys. These peas are just so sweet. You can cook them if you want, but I prefer to just pop them on salads raw. Oh, I wish you guys could taste these. These are so amazing. The flavor is unbelievable. Definitely not like those canned peas you might have had when you were younger that your mom used to pop open and have at dinner time. These are so, so amazing. I absolutely love pea flowers. I think they're just so amazing. And I wish I could remember the name of this variety. I'm gonna have to go and look it up. But it is a shelling pea. I just tried one of the pods and it's a little bit stringy, so it is definitely a shelling pea. But it's a taller variety. So what you can do, I have it on a smaller type of trellis, but I added a couple of stakes here just to give it a little bit of extra support. And then I use the stretchy tie tape just to kind of tie it to the stake and help support it. So we'll leave this one to grow a little bit longer, but I know I do have some of the purple snow peas or snap peas over here, and we'll wrap up the harvest with this plant. I think these purple peas are my favorite peas of the season. I absolutely love the color. And these are on the tower trellis once again, but I did go ahead and pop a tomato plant in the middle of the tower trellis. And that way you can maximize your pea harvest and then also use the trellis for your tomatoes once the weather gets hot, just like we did in the other section. So the harvest basket is filling up. There's nothing like a garden fresh harvest. It's just so inspiring. I mean, this is why we grow our own food, you guys, so we can come out to our own backyard and harvest fresh, organic, tasty produce. And look at the colors of these peas. Aren't they amazing? Well, thanks for wandering through the garden with me today for our pea harvest. Hope you enjoyed all the tips on how to grow a bumper crop. We're going to really enjoy having these peas this weekend. And grab one of my pea seed collections if you need seeds. There's 5 varieties in here so that you can grow a bumper crop of your own peas too. And comment below and let me know what your favorite variety of pea is and if you're going to be growing peas in your garden this summer. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.